For 4 years, we were borderless in this country as Joe Biden and Democrats committed one of the most treasonous acts possible. The damage done, the risk to our lives, to our national security, to our livelihoods is unforgivable, and Americans shoved Trump back into the White House because of that, despite every single federal institution's warnings against doing so. It was very clear that our own government was against us. That's what we learned for the past 4 years. Trump returned to the White House with a mandate to stop our own government from destroying our country, and that is what is happening right now. That's what ICE is doing every single day. And the same people who decimated our sovereignty, the same people that want to destroy your country for their own gain, are now screaming that it is fascist to return to the way that this country was run before Joe Biden's horrific presidency. Take a listen to Eric Swalwell describing immigration and customs enforcement.
And these ICE agents running around our communities like masked bank robbers, terrorizing women, they're going to get themselves hurt. I hope every state that is able to, and every community that is able to, unmasks ICE.
Now, forget the fact that he's one of the biggest idiots in the country, and remember the fact that he's actually a sitting congressman. And this is every day we're hearing this now. Nazis are kidnapping and disappearing innocent people all over our country. This is being said by people elected to office, people that have a lot of responsibility behind them. A Rhode Island state representative made that same claim recently, calling ICE Nazis in his neighborhood. When they arrested the man you can see on the right, his constituents were shocked to hear that, until they found out that the victim was a Honduran self-admitted MS-13 gang member, one of the most violent people in the world, and also a fentanyl trafficker as well. This happens every single day. This is the rhetoric that we hear. They scream and they sob like children over the removal of dangerous and oftentimes very horrible people who are also here in the country illegally. It's like we live in the Twilight Zone.
What is deranged and cruel and outrageous is that literally we are seeing ICE agents, they are coming and kidnapping and disappearing people.
And you compare them to those nondescript thugs who grabbed that student, that graduate student. It does look like a Gestapo operation.
They're acting more like vigilantes than of agents of our government.
They want to ethnically cleanse this country of certain types of immigrants.
Illegal immigrants are their path to power. We're screwing with their power. And that's the only thing that they care about, so that's why they sound the way that they sound. It's not because they care about these people. They care about this was their path to perpetual power. Bring in tons of these people, and they're all going to vote for Democrats because Democrats are the reason they're here. They've notched up the rhetoric so extreme that ICE now wearing masks to avoid doxing, covering their faces so anarchists, anti-fascists don't go burn their houses down with their families inside. And after driving federal immigration officers to mask up, they then shame them for doing so in an epic gaslight. The reason that they're masked up is because of the violence that these people have sent in their direction, and then they shame them for wearing a mask. Despite nonstop negative coverage of Trump's immigration plan, support does still remain. A Harvard-Harris poll was a pretty big shocker this week when it found 60% of Americans want the border closed still. Despite nonstop, everyday media negative coverage of this, finding the sob stories, pushing them out, 75% of Americans want any illegal who's in the country illegally and then commits another crime inside the country deported. 75%. And again, these are left-leaning polls. These are the kinds of polls that told you that Kamala was probably going to win the election. Today, Trump giving the fight against fentanyl some teeth, signing the HALT Act, labeling all the ingredients that go into making fentanyl as also Schedule 1 narcotics. That's a good start. Hopefully save a lot of lives, because it's about more than just getting illegals out of the country. It's about stopping what's been coming in. The border is now closed. 0 illegals being released into the country in the latest month of June. About 30 daily gotaways in April. 30. That's not much on a 2,000-mile border. In June, 25,000 total encounters nationwide at all borders, north and south. the lowest in the history of Border Patrol. America is once again a sovereign nation like the rest of the West is, like most of the countries in the civilized world are. And the response from Democrats to that is this.
ICE has become the largest federal law enforcement agency for one reason only. Its charge is to make America white again. It's profoundly racist, and it's rooted in an ideology that's tied to, bound up with white nationalism.
Nice glasses. You know, politics is full of gaslighting. There's lies and BS everywhere, right? But this one really is a beauty. After spending the last 4 years trying to turn your country as brown as possible, the reaction to ending their great replacement scheme is to scream racism. Trump won't allow the entire world to just enter our country with a little app on your phone where you just click asylum. That's racist. This week, the media is pushing sob stories, as they always are on this. This time, the plight of the self-deporting illegal alien is front and center, who've decided to go home before they are rounded up. CNN doing a story about that self-deporting family here in America, going to go home before they get thrown out. The Washington Post actually found a trans asylum seeker who's returning to Honduras, saying that Catalia Baca, you can see here in the picture, was returning home, saying better to return to Honduras on her own terms without compromising her dignity. Here's the truth. If you claimed asylum from a place, you claimed asylum from Honduras, and you're going back to Honduras just to keep your own dignity, you're going back on your own accord, that was never asylum. An actual asylum seeker would be kicking and screaming and fighting to stay here. Asylum means you're fleeing for your life, not you're just, it's nicer here and I don't want to go home. It's another reminder that the millions that we have let in for the past 4 years, who all said the right things on asylum and were trained by the cartels and everybody else, these people would never ever survive the scrutiny of asylum courts to begin with. Meaning that all of these deportations that we're seeing, all these deportations that they are vilifying every single day, all of them, even by a judge's standards, are fully justified. You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us, we're different. We report the real news, no spin, just the facts. Turn to us and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.